talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin', and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. Here we go now. I'm talking about Mr. Gulley, and you don't know where he's been. Oh no, he's been right in your alley. Well, I'm Mr. Gulley, yes I am. So what we talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin', and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. One, two, three, four. They call me Mr. Gulley. I've got something for your ear. Now it might sound kind of funny, but I'll make it very clear. So what we talking about? We're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin', and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. Here we go now. I'm talking about Mr. Gulley, and you don't know where he's been. Oh no, he's been right in your alley. Well, I'm Mr. Gulley, yes I am. So what we talking about? We're talking about spiders, talking about pervitin', and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way.
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Friday night? Hope it's a good one for you. Maybe you're going to go do something later. I don't know. Tonight, let me tell you about ball jars. Oh yeah, it's a lot more complicated than you think it is. But first, why don't I ask you, beg you, implore you, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all those free things you can do that help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm. We need that algorithm. Yeah, whatever it's doing. We really need the subscribes, really need the likes, so share with a friend or an enemy. The good news tonight is that we are, yes, through the miracle of StreamYard, streaming to Sonic Asylum Radio like we're supposed to on their Facebook page every night. The bad news is it didn't stream to the Tom Gulley Show Facebook page. And we here at the Tom Gulley Show, well, we like it when it streams there. So I had to rush in and put the link there myself, manually. I had to do manual labor. It was awful. It was terrible. Just a quick programming note before we get to some of your comments. Next week on this program, Monday night, the San Francisco earthquake of 1904. Richard Pryor will be Tuesday night. Wednesday night, I'm expecting maybe a guest, but that has not been confirmed. Thursday will be vampires. And Friday will be pretzels. Pretzels. Many of these you may recognize as your requests. So we will be doing a deep dive on all of those various topics next week. Terry Nee, one of our most fervent supporters, was nice enough to retweet our last night's show just a few minutes before I got this one ready today. So I don't care when you watch it. Just watch it. You know what I'm saying? So let's get to some of our comments here. Funky Bronco says, I can't wait for the show today. Thank you so much, sir. Funky Bronco has several other remarks, and I don't even know what to say to most of them. And then the Dabble person is here. He says, I got algorithm. Can't ask for anything more. And who would? Who really would? Chef is in the house. He is an official chef. He's probably chefing somewhere right now as we speak. What was the other thing? Daggone it. Chef. I can't remember now. I had it just a second ago. It's gone. It's gone forever. We'll never recover it. I've got people sending me things right when the show starts because they apparently don't realize I do a show. So that's what's going on here. And I guess we could just get right into the topic. I don't know how many of you fans of canning. Oh, we will do a show this weekend. That's what it was. We will do a members-only program this weekend. By the way, we do have super chats. We do have memberships. We love it when you take advantage of those things that help us pay the bills around here. Because, you know, without your kind donations, I wouldn't be able to have StreamYard. And, you know, how much they help. Yeah. And then if you look at the begging bar, what I call the begging bar that we put at the bottom of the screen, there it is right now. It will tell you how to turn on your gifted memberships, and some kind, generous, wonderful, philanthropic person might just gift you a free membership to the Tom Gulley Show, which will unlock the cherished access to the members-only content that is so exclusive and so cherished. And we'll do that on the weekend, probably Sunday. I can also tell you, this Sunday, I might just gripe about things for a solid hour. I've got plenty on the gripe train right now, so maybe we'll just do that. Who knows what we'll do? Who knows? Who knows? Let's get into tonight's topic, ball jars. Okay, so before we go too far, this is a ball jar. Okay, so this is what a ball jar looks like in its natural habitat. For those of you who pay close attention, and one of the things I love about this show more than anything is it's for smart people. It's for people who want to learn things. Well, because you are smart and you have learned things throughout your life, you will notice that this jar is empty. Yes, this is an empty, wide mouth ball jar. Now, I tell you that so I can tell you this. No story about ball jars would be complete before we even get to this stage. And by the way, this is an advanced ball jar. I'm going to take you through the stages of ball jars. But the first thing I'm going to tell you about isn't ball jars per se. Nay, nay. It is, of course, yes, the Ball brothers. The Ball brothers. And they are from left to right. Incidentally, none of them is named Harry. All right? So get that out of your mind right now. I know you always want to make it dirty. I'm not going to let you make it dirty. There is no Ball brother named Harry. They are left to right. William, by the way, you'll notice they're all mustachioed. Frank, all right, he's the second guy in back. Lucius, this is the one that's seated. Edmund, who's got that stylish sitting on the arm of the chair look. And then, of course, George. Those are the Ball brothers. And basically, the Ball brothers were 5 industrialists and, most importantly, philanthropists who established a manufacturing business, in New York, and then moved it out to Indiana because that's the place you want to be. So they packed up their trucks and they moved to Muncie, Indiana, that is. Cornfields, people that are closely related to each other getting married. Before we get into the Ball Corporation, the Ball Brothers Canning Company, I have to mention that these guys were major philanthropists due to the tremendous amount of money they made from the ball jars. Okay? Please keep in mind that in the time they started doing this, canning of vegetables and other things was super, super, super popular. There weren't a lot of ways to refrigerate food. There were what they called ice boxes, but even those weren't, super popular, and they were really not available that much to people out in the country. You get it. There just weren't a lot of ways to do that. So canning was a big thing, so they sold a lot of ball jars. And that's cool. But from the huge amounts of money they made, these guys were philanthropists. They very much believed in starting philanthropic organizations like what would eventually become the Harvard of the Midwest, Ball State University, Ball Memorial Hospital, the YMCA, and the Minnetrista Museum and Gardens, which is big in Muncie, Indiana. It's big, see? It's real big, see? Now, I could go into the individual, life story of each of the Ball brothers. I don't think that's necessary. I don't think we want to do that here. But these are the guys that started the whole thing. And just, by the way, let's get into the story, really, of the Ball Corporation, because it is a little bit interesting, okay? So in 1880, these also are the Ball brothers. And for those of you keeping score at home, and I know many of you are, they are from left to right: George, Lucius, Frank, Edmund, and William. Yes, those are the Ball brothers in a much more recent picture than the first one. They look like the bad guys in a Frank Capra movie about taking over a small town. But in fact, they did take over a small town, but they did so very benevolently. All right. So way back in 1880, Frank and Edmund there borrowed about $200 from George Ball, who was their uncle and the founder and first president of Keokuk College. And they purchased the Wooden Jacket Can Company, which was a small manufacturing business located in Buffalo, New York. Now, very soon, William, Lucius, and George joined their brothers, Frank and Edmund, in Buffalo, right? So, by the way, they paid the $200 back. The Ball Brothers Company made tin cans that were encased in wooden jackets And they were made for the purpose of holding like kerosene and paint and varnish, right? And because the acid used to refine kerosene caused corrosion in tin, the brothers got the idea, hey, why don't we use glass for the inserts of these wooden jackets, right? So originally they bought the containers from a factory in Poughkeepsie, New York. But around 1885, a group of Belgian glass blowers who were passing through Buffalo, they got with the Ball brothers and they said, you know, you're stupid for buying these from somebody. Why don't you just build your own factory? And the Ball brothers said, hey, you Belgian guys, you're not just about waffles anymore. You're some smart guys. So they purchased some land east of Buffalo where they built a 2-story brick building, and they had all the plans ready to build this glassworks. The brothers had their factory burned down right off the bat, but they rebuilt it and expanded it. To keep the furnace running at full capacity, they introduced new products and made improvements to the glass and metal manufacturing process. So they bought this factory and they're like, well, actually this factory, we can't keep it busy just doing these inserts. Let's do some other things. And so about 4 years after the whole thing got started, the brothers discovered the Mason improved fruit jar patent was due to expire. And so they began manufacturing their own canning jars in their glassworks. And the Ball Brothers jars, which were produced in half-gallon, pint, and midget sizes, were manufactured from about 1884 to 1886. And Buffalo jar lids were produced in a Ball Brothers metal fabricating factory. So they had control of the means of production for everything they needed to make and retail these canning jars, which meant they were likely to make a lot more profit than buying it from someone else. They decided to put their logo onto the surface of the glass jars, which were amber or aqua, or like blue-green at the time. I will tell you why that is in just a moment. It's a very interesting story, right? So in 1886, they incorporated the business under the name Ball Brothers Manufacturing Company. And about the same time as the factory in Buffalo was destroyed by fire in 1886, the brothers started thinking about moving the business closer to natural gas supplies. They needed natural gas to run this factory, and they didn't have a super close access to it and a super consistent basis to get it. So while on a business trip in Cleveland, Ohio, Frank, you remember Frank there, right, in the picture? Frank heard about some natural gas that was booming in Findlay, Ohio. So he visited the town, and he tells Edmund about the economic advantages of natural gas instead of what they were doing at the time, using coal for manufacturing the glass. So Edmund visited several towns in these gas fields, including Muncie, Indiana. Now, these two brothers weren't just going to stand pat like that. They really wanted to investigate this. So they made a much more extensive trip to investigate all these possibilities of where are we going to put this factory, right? When we need an abundant supply of natural gas. They kind of were doubting, do we even want to leave Buffalo? But they just said, we're going to explore this. We're going to see if we can make this work. Now, Frank and Edmund first went to Fostoria, Ohio on this really big fact-finding mission, and they were very enthusiastically welcome. And then they went to Bowling Green, Ohio, which is, of course, the home of the Bowling Green Falcons, and we hate them because they suck. After a night in Bowling Green, Edmund went back to Buffalo, but Frank stayed in Bowling Green. And he stayed there for about a week, and he got a telegram from a man named James Boyce, who was a businessman in Muncie, Indiana. And Frank, who had really gotten tired of Bowling Green, and who wouldn't, because they suck. I'm sorry, I shouldn't use that kind of language, and I really shouldn't say that, but are a bitter rival in the Mid-American Conference of Ball State University. So Yeah, I wore the shirt for the show because I do that. Anyway, he was ready for a change of scenery, and he decided to just hustle on over to Muncie and see what they had to offer. And as Frank recalled from his early discussions with Muncie's town leaders, he said, there was nothing about the town that particularly appealed to me, but the men there were all, to a man, courteous, kind, and businesslike. And Frank loved this. He was like, these are my kind of people. And so Frank agreed to a proposal. And it was that the Ball brothers would get 7 acres, of land for a factory site. They would give him a gas well, and they'd get $5,000 in 1886 cash in order to move there. That's what the town of Muncie, Indiana did for them, right? Also, the city officials said, we'll provide you a railroad connection to that facility. We will build a railroad track from your facility to the actual railroad tracks. Well, please. By September of 1887, construction had begun on the Muncie factory, and the Ball brothers began plans to move everything from New York. Frank stayed in Muncie to get everything going. Edmund closed the factory in Buffalo, then moved to Muncie to join Frank. And William, George, they stayed in Buffalo to operate the stamping works, the metal part of their operation. In 1888, the company opened its first glass manufacturing facility in Muncie. On February 18th, fires were stoked in the company's new furnace. On March 1st, the first glass products were rolling off the line. And the first products to be manufactured in the factory were oil containers and lamp chimneys, not fruit jars. But by 1889, the Ball Brothers Company headquarters and everything else, metal, you name it, the whole shebang had moved to Muncie. They loved this town. Other Ball brothers moved to Indiana in the 1890s. I could tell you exactly when. By the way, Lucius was also a physician. he moved to Muncie. He was the last one to get there in 1894. In the late 19th century, the company just was growing and prospering. There were some challenges. They had a few fires. There was a big economic panic in 1893. But the company was able to produce, get this, 22 million fruit jars for the year beginning in September 1894 and 37 million jars by 1897. Now, natural gas supplies in the area started to diminish, but the Ball brothers installed gas converters to use Indiana coal in their factories, and they just kept on going. The company's FC Ball machine, which was patented in 1898, introduced mass production into its glass blowing process, and they had a huge competitive advantage on the market for this. It was a much more rapid and effective way to make the glass. By 1905, the company was producing 60 million canning jars per year, and they had acquired a ton of other glass manufacturers so that they expanded their operation to include 7 factories in addition to the main one in Muncie, right? In continuation of the company's difficulties, the workers organized Local 200 of the Industrial Workers of the World's Glass Workers Division, and they went on strike for wage increases, but they settled that very quickly. The Ball brothers were fair men. They reneged on the agreement and threatened to declare a lockout. Just kidding. The strike continued, but the AFL machinists said, we're not joining the strike, and at that point, the strike just sort of went the way of the dinosaur. For over 90 years, the Ball family continued to be a family-owned business. It was renamed the Ball Brothers Company in 1922, and it remained well known for manufacturing fruit jars, lids, and related products for home canning. But they got into a lot of other stuff. glass, zinc, rubber, paper. They acquired a zinc strip rolling mill. They did a lot of other things. They acquired steel, timber, tin, plastic companies. Prior to 1933, though, Ball was the largest domestic manufacturer of home canning jars. In 1939, it manufactured 54% of all the canning jars made in the U.S. A drop in demand for the jars in the 30s led the Ball brothers to start manufacturing other types of jars and bottles and, other lines of business. And during World War II, the company's operations were converted to produce shells and machine parts for the military. After the war, the Ball brothers were so good at this canning thing that an antitrust case was raised, and the case was appealed in the U.S. Supreme Court. The final decision happened in 1947, and it restricted Ball's ability to acquire other glass manufacturers and anything that sort of enabled the making of glass, machinery and other things, without a court approving it. Yes. Throughout the 50s, that's when the Ball brothers got into other things, including the aerospace industry. The Ball Corporation now does aerospace. They sold their rights they do not make canning jars anymore. They exited the business when they established a subsidiary named Altrista, which were 7 little Ball subsidiaries in one company. And basically, they just got a share of stock. Each Ball shareholder got 1 share of Altrista stock for every 4 shares of Ball stock. It was renamed the Jarden Corporation in 2001, and that merged with Newell Rubbermaid to become Newell Brands. And today, Newell Brands has the license to use the Ball registered trademark in its line of home canning products. They were, by the way, also the largest supplier of cans and other things to many other foreign countries. They didn't just do it in the United States. Now, I told you I would tell you why and how the Ball canning jars, the early ones, and maybe some of you have seen them, I will tell you why that blue color of those early jars, which are very collectible, I'll tell you why and how that happened in just a second. I would like to get to some of your comments right now. Stan, the man, Stanley Cross, is here from Stanley versus the World over at the Urban Landlord. You can check him out at about 3 or 4 in the morning Eastern time at the Urban Landlord here on YouTube. He's a wonderful guy. Love talking to him. He's kind enough to let me be on his program once in a while, and we appreciate that. People saying hi. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet, as verified by independent sources. And by the way, please like, please share, please retweet, notification bell, especially those likes and shares only cost you a click. Helps us with the algorithm, the almighty algorithm. The Ball brothers would appreciate it if you did that, I'm sure. And also, we do have super chats. We do have memberships. We love it when you do that because that helps us pay the bills around here. And what would I do without my partners at StreamYard? And then also, if you look at the begging bar at the bottom of the screen, that scroll, it'll tell you how to turn on your gifted memberships. And sometimes really generous people come in here, gift those babies. They just gift them. And if you get a gifted membership, you'll get access to that members-only exclusive content. Like me on Sunday, when I'm just going to gripe about things. Look, it's not stuff that's really bad, and I'm not going to say bad words or anything. It's just stuff that sticks in my craw. I think is the best way to describe it. Sticks in my craw. Tim Jenkinson says, looks like they just copied Kilner jars. I might agree with you if I knew what a Kilner jar is. I'm assuming it's British. It's something very British. How do you know Kilner jars didn't copy the Ball jar? You don't know. Nobody knows. I'm sure Kilner jars are a fine thing. I don't want to cast aspersion on Kilner jars until I find out what they are. Doc Torn is here. Doc Torn, we have missed you, my man. Thank you so much. It's so good to see you. He says, wow, this looks like a great stream. I should like, subscribe, share, super chat, and tell all my friends. Please do. Doctor says, I just happen to be full of natural gas. Well, you would have come in handy back in 1889 or whatever. Chef says, is that a picture of your dad and your brothers and you at Ball State? You mean this? Yeah, that's my 4 brothers and my dad. That's me and my 3 brothers, sorry, my dad. That's all 4 of us. Doc says 5,000 in 1880s is 15 million in the current market. I don't doubt it. Here, let's show you some more ball jars. How about that? How about that? Oh, let me tell you something. My grandmother used to make the most incredible jams and jellies. And when I would go, when I was in college, to her place for Christmas, she would send me home with one of these flats, one of these little half boxes with 12 different, probably 3 or 4 different flavors. And people in my dorm would almost tackle me to the ground to get some of it. It was so good. Doc says, the whole shebang, even the kitchen sink? Yes. Not just the whole shebang, Doc Torn, but the kitchen sink and the kit, and not just the kit, but also the caboodle. All of it. All of it. Well, maybe not a lot of bad words, no. Here's the wolf. Good to see him, a fellow Ball State graduate. Tim Jenkinson says, Kilner jars predate them. That's what you say. Mason jars predated them. The copyright had expired. I didn't say they invented them. They just made them better and cheaper and faster and quicker and more. Just saying. People saying hi. Terry Nee says, they didn't have photography when Tom went to college. No, we had daguerreotypes. You had to hold still for like 30 minutes. Usually they would just trot out an oil painting. You're right, Terry Nee. Tom says, Tom's got his Ball State on the stream. See how I clean that up? The Wolf says, Terry, are you saying I'm as old as dirt? Jarring debate. It is a jarring debate. I'm not even debating it. I'm sure, the Mason jars predated them. The copyright expired, and the Ball brothers went, hey, they don't own this anymore. Why don't we start making them? We'll slap our own name on them, buy a factory in Muncie, Indiana, and just start spitting these babies out like you can't. But anyway. Oh, yeah, well, ball you. I'd rather ball you than IU. It's a bumper sticker. Indiana University's IU. It's just the thing. It's only slightly dirty. If you ever watch Close Encounters of the Third Kind, make sure and look for the mountains of Muncie, Indiana, when Richard Dreyfuss is driving his truck around. And all the people wearing Ball State University stuff in that movie is just hilarious. All right. Now, I was talking about why ball jars, the early ones, are this greenish blue, aqua blue color. Right? Right? I was talking about that. Well, here's the reason why. Right here. This is known as the Hoosier Slide. And it's near Michigan City, Indiana, on the lake Michigan there. And as you can see, this is a postcard, by the way, because it was such a prominent feature up there. It was a gigantic sand dune right there on the shore, 200 feet high. And it was a popular tourist destination in the late 19th century. And people would slide down it. It was almost like an amusement park ride for the people of Indiana and Chicago. It was a big tourist attraction for that reason. But guess what? It was found to be a very, very good source of iron-rich sand that would make a light blue or blue tinted glass. And because of that, people started mining that sand. And they mined so much of it that by 1920, there was no more Hoosier Slide. That's why they called it Hoosier Slide, is that people would slide down it. Yeah, yeah. Now, it was originally covered by stubby trees and things and shrubberies, but it was revealed as a sand dune when that stuff was cleared off of it. And they estimate that about 180,000 people visited this thing every year until 1920. And it got the name, as I mentioned, for the popular activity of the day, sliding down the face of the dune. People would get weddings there. They'd do recreation and had famous visitors like Daniel Webster and William McKinley. And yeah, you betcha. Now, sand miners began mining the Hoosier Slide in 1890. Glass companies like the Pittsburgh Plate Glass Company and the Ball Brothers had recently established factories in Muncie, Indiana to make use of local sand dunes and natural gas. Wind-blown sand from the dune was sampled for glass making, and due to its very iron-rich composition, it made that light aqua blue glass. And so the Ball Brothers produced that distinctive ball blue jar from the sand, and those were sold all over. That blue glass was also thought to be beneficial in reducing the deterioration of canned fruit, having it not be clear, having that thing be sort of protected from the light. People thought that it would keep the fruit inside from decaying quite as quickly. Yes, the Hemingway Glass Company also used the sand from the Hoosier Slide to make glass electrical insulators. Now, very early on, once these glass companies started taking the sand, the concern was expressed. They said, hey, this dune used to be 200 feet. Now it's 63 feet. Well, that's all there was concern. But because by 1920, it was gone. A total of 13,500,000 short tons, which is about 12,200,000 actual tons of sand, was used for glass, and that effectively removed the dune completely. However, these are the Ball Brothers. They didn't just take the sand and use it. They took the sand and stored it in reserve so they could continue to make these blue jars until 1937. And once those reserves ran out, they just made the clear glass jars. Occasionally a commemorative jar in another color. So once the Hoosier Slide here had been dissipated, its site was purchased by the Northern Indiana Public Service Company, and it became the site of the Michigan City Generating Station for electricity. Public outcry over the disappearance of the Hoosier Slide and other dunes led to the creation of legislation which protected the remaining dunes in the 70s and 80s, and the nearby dunes are protected within the Indiana Dunes National Park, which is a place you go up there. One of my college soccer teammates was from the dunes, man. I'm from the dunes. Dude, I'm from the dunes. So there you go. So there, no matter where you go, there you are. Let me see if I can tell you anything else about that, about these. I do have another source here that I'll quickly get and go through. Let's see. Yep, $200 started the whole thing. The jackets, they started doing the glass thing, and then they moved to Muncie, and they had a daily capacity in 1900. In 1900, they had the largest fruit jar plant in the world with a daily capacity every day, every single day, machine made 240,000 jars every single day. What do you think about that? Huh? Right. That's what happened there. That's what they did, yeah. Yeah, you betcha. Yeah. So, anyway, I think that's pretty much all I have to tell you about the old ball jar. Yeah, that's right. That's what I got to tell you about the ball jar. And that's what I got to tell you about the ball jar and the Ball brothers. There is no Harry. Don't ask me about it. There's no Harry. I'll put this one up. This one's more colorful. All right. All right. Let's see. Let's get to some of your comments. Oh, wait. I got to do another thing first, real quick here. Very quickly here. Oh, Tim quit ball. Like the Ball brothers busting. Yes. Look, I've heard all the jokes, okay? I went to school there. I've heard all the jokes. It's actually in one of Ball State's yearbooks. They had a big Family Feud event on campus. The dormitories and fraternities played each other in Family Feud. And after I got the Letterman Scholarship, man, anything that happened on that campus that required an MC or a host, I did it. So in one of the yearbooks, which is called The Orient, there's actually the story of me doing the Family Feud, and there was name the 5 Ball brothers, and one of the girls said Harry, and of course laughter. And it describes me doing that in there. And that's the joke, isn't it? Anyway, isn't there a college in Muncie? Just the Harvard of the Midwest, Ball State University. People saying hi, slightly dirty, he says. Doc says, I don't know. Who's your slide? Julian says, now it's called Where's Your Slide? Yeah, it's gone. Where's the slide? Julian Zeezer says, with the zinger. Julian Zeezer, Julian gets some zingers in. All you guys do, actually. But blue ball jars. Blue ball or a jar. Blue ball is a jar, says Stanley Cross. Terry Nee says they should have used uranium. It would have killed bacteria and found in the dark. Well, they just didn't think of it, Terry. They didn't have your keen mind for the manufacturing process. People saying hi. 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 Let's see here. How many Gulley family members went to Ball State? Okay, so me, my 2 sisters. That might be it. I think one of the nephews went there as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think just maybe the 4 of us. I'd have to get a number on that. But myself and my 2 sisters, I paved the way, and then they thrived there as well. And one of them works there. She's the senior Thank you, StreamYard. Thank you. She's the senior lecturer in psychology. She's been there what? High saying people. That too. Hey, by the way, I guess I'll take the begging bar down. It doesn't look like we're going to get any donations tonight. So, again, all of our numbers are down. Likes, shares, subscribes, view, all of them down. And of course, revenue is also just... And we're taking in the shorts here on the Tom Gulley Show, folks. Let's see here. There we go. Turn our volume back up. I don't know why it makes me do that, but it does. Phone lines are open right now, 972-994-6822 if you care to call in, or if you wouldn't care to call in. Either way, the phone lines are open. Now, that was a top quality glitch. Wasn't it, though? Isn't it, senorita? No, she's senior lecturer. The senior lecturer in behavioral psychology. Psychological science, I'm sorry. What they call psych-sci. She's really good at it, too. She's damn good at it. So I've been told, anyway. Damn good at it. Yeah, that guy is a Phoebe. I know that company. Active, tranquil, complexity, puzzle. And there we go. Beautiful. Just beautiful. Let's see. Doc says, I've been busting me hump at work with overtime and preparing for the Irish-Italian parade on Sunday. I didn't know you had an Irish-Italian parade, but doesn't New Orleans just have a parade for anything? Won't you guys just fire up a parade anytime? Terry Nee says, I wonder what drove her to be a psychologist. You'd have to ask her. Julian Zezer says, has she diagnosed you yet, Tom? Well, not yet, but she is going to, I thought I had mentioned this a couple times. She is going to give me a test that I can take, and then she will come on this show and announce the results of the test, but she's looking for just the right test. She wants to make sure it's, because really, most psychological tests you can't just do as a test. It involves some level of clinical observation and things of that nature. And so she's working on finding the right test. And then she'll come on and she will divulge the results of the test. Doc says, yep. You got to be able to hear that. 71 degrees. 7:45 at night. This dude wants to sell ice cream. God, I want to smack him. Just want to open hand, not just like that, just to get his attention. Hey, turn the music down or get a new song. Doc says we even have small parades for funerals. I know, I've seen them. They walk real slow. It's kind of cool. Jazz plays. Wolf says, don't take the wacky test. Just say no. No, if she says it's cool, then that'll be good. Chef says, I wouldn't want her to test me. Why not? Terry Nee says, Neanderthal? What? Is that what the test would reveal? Maybe. I don't know. Stanley Cross says, can she test solid snake necks, Tom? She could probably just do observation. She could just probably watch a show. I think she would require payment for that. She would require payment for that. That's a bridge too far, is what that is. But 972-994-6822. Doc says, I don't need a test. I didn't study. Well, I don't think you have to for that test. Stanley's laughing. The wolf is laughing. I want to know why the chef wouldn't want her to test him. Apparently, she's the first female to make a pizza at Noble Roman's in Carmel, which isn't there anymore. Last time I know, there was one in Zionsville. It was the last time I had Noble Roman's. And it was good. Noble Roman's was a great pizza chain, man. It was so good. And that was the hangout place, too. At least when I was in high school. I think chef's probably, a good distance behind me. But, late 70s, early 80s, Noble Romans, that's where you went after the ball game on Friday night. Terry Nee says, I do appreciate the ice cream man's consistency. Yeah, he consistently ruins the show every night. The guy's a real jerk. Who am I kidding, says Doc. I know I'm crazy. Basket case, you're fine, Doc. The wolf says, yes, it was. 34 pieces every day for lunch. Chef says, as many pizzas have made in my lifetime will continue to do this day. Yes, Noble Roman's pizza is the best. So good. Why am I even talking about it? They don't have it down here. It's hard to get that Sicilian style with the crust on the side that's baked and it's got the caramelization. Oh, God, can't find it. I do have some pizza here. Maybe I'll make that. It's not that great a pizza, though. It's really, so tomorrow's grocery day. Tomorrow morning is when I go get the groceries. So, I don't know about you, but by replenish day, I've already eaten the stuff I really like. So now tonight it's like, I got some stuff that's not bad, but it's not my first choice. That stuff usually is on Saturday and Sunday, it's gone. and slowly maybe the rest of the stuff, and then by Friday night it's like, what do I got in there? Ate the last of my salad earlier today. I watched season 3 today while I was working. I had season 3 of Reacher. It's a pretty good season. It's a pretty good season. I started watching and I couldn't stop. Let's see here. Chef says you should go to the local pizza place and ask them to buy some dough or even powder bank dough and making it home. Well, I do make stuff here at home. I just don't have a deep dish pan and all that. And the sauce, like the Noble Romans would have the square pizza, the square kind. They had the regular kind too, but the square kind, that deep dish-ish, is Sicilian style, some people call it. Some people call it Detroit style. Anyway, and it was in 8, if you got a medium, it was 8 square pieces, and it didn't have sauce all over it. It had like a big dollop of sauce. They didn't spread it out. They just bang, and I love that. Mix up your grocery day. You may meet someone. Wink, wink. I'm not going to meet anybody there because I get there when it opens. So the only ladies there are the Romanian lady and the other lady that watch me bag groceries. I'm always sitting there going, you're on your phone. You're just watching me work. What's up with that? They don't have the cashier part open when I'm there, because I get there right when it opens. Yes. Terry Nee says, I also enjoy Reacher. It's so good. So good. Doc says, Tom goes for the early bird special. Well, not, but kind of. Because when I get there, I get a certain number of things, usually 2, that are marked way down because they're going to expire that day. I almost always get a large pizza. They always have them. That's the last day. And then there's usually those chicken Caesar wraps. There's usually one of those. So I get back from the grocery, put the groceries away, talk to my dad on the phone for an hour, make half of a large pizza. Then I do stuff on the computer because I'm always on the computer, or I'll go watch some TV. Then at about noon, I eat the chicken wrap. And then in the evening, phone lines are open if you really want to get to the bottom of that, but they're not going to be open much longer. This charade of me having the phones open is just when Skype closes down, I may just do away with that completely. And at the rate our views are dropping on this, about 3 weeks ago, we had a string of 2 or 3 weeks where we were just climbing. Everything was looking good. And I don't know what happened. I don't know what YouTube algorithmic deity I offended. But Chef says, did you get a picture of me with the pizza that I sent you? When did you send it? Would be the question that I would ask. Perhaps. I don't know. Terry Nee says, my Sam's Club is enter to exit phone scan and AI walkthrough. Enter to exit phone scan. I don't understand what that means. You mean you can just scan your stuff as you go through in the cart? And it's the same thing. I'm doing the work. I shouldn't be doing the work. I don't work for them. If they gave me 1% off, 2% off, they gave me 50 cents off, I would have less problem with it. They don't. I used to bag groceries in high school. Guess what? They paid me for it. Now I bag groceries for free as a volunteer work for a major corporation. Well, as I mentioned earlier, it sticks in my craw a little. And the only reason that it does, and this is the only reason, well, it's not the only reason. There's 2 reasons. Number one, their employees watch me while I'm working. I don't cotton to that, but a cashier would know where the UPC code is. Me? I'm a novice. I do it once a week. I have to look at 6 sides of a box before, oh, there it is. Beep. I don't like that. I don't like searching for the UPC code. Julian Caesar says, Chef, he showed it on here. It was a great picture. I know I've showed a pizza picture, but I don't know if it's the one you're talking about. I'm not a chef. You're the chef. I don't know. But I think I did show it. Julian Caesar says, Chef, or maybe that was another picture of you sitting with your knife. I have some pictures of the chef. I just don't know which one is the one that's the one that he says is the one. You know. Doc says, apologies, Tom. I'm too worn from work to call. That's fine. Don't you worry about it. You've done your service. Terry Nee says, longer lit days kill 8 p.m. podcast. Do they? Do they? Do they? It's not that. I don't know about that. George Bush Sr. is baffled by barcodes. It wouldn't be as abrupt if that was. It would taper the way the day's length changes. George Bush Sr. is baffled by barcodes. It's just a pain. It's a pain. Let me see here. Let me see if I can. Find some chef things. I don't know. We'll see. Let me see if I can locate some chef photos. Let me just see. Chef says, everybody say goodnight, Gracie. Well, I'm not going to look for the pictures if you're leaving. But say goodnight, Gracie. In fact, I'm not going to look for the pictures. If you're leaving, I'll get them at a different time. But everybody say good night to Chef. Show's only got about 7 million. He says, now I'm here. Look, I'm not playing this. I'm not playing tag with hunting for pictures during the show. Not something that I like to do. Being a chef seems grueling. It is grueling. It's, man, the amount of prep work and stuff they need to do. I'm telling you what, it doesn't look like I prepare for this show, but I actually do. So when I have to go rogue, all right, let me see what I got here. Gully toilet, wolf. Who about see, I probably renamed it. I don't think that's it. Nacho Lane. Let me just do this real fast. Let me do this real fast. I'm a little cranky today. I'm sorry. I had one of my least favorite things ever that ever happen today, which is people telling me about my show. I don't like that. Do not like that. I can't find it the easy and quick way. I'm sorry. I am sorry. I might have removed it from the library to save space. No, that's not it. All right. Let's see. Yeah, the chefs have to do so much prep work and stuff. It is a very grueling job. The Wolf says, back in the days of the Greeks and the Romans, it was just considered good manners for the servants of the house to ring up your groceries as a guest. Yes, it really was. 1700s? No, the days of the Greeks and the Romans. The days of the Greeks and the Romans. Yeah. Yeah. Man, if there's one thing that I love. It's people telling me about my show and what should happen with it, and especially people that don't really watch it very frequently. That nothing makes me happier than that. Really. That, and when I get to hear that AI is going to make me more creative. Sure it is. Sure it is. Yeah, I'll get right on that. That AI creativity. I'll get right on that. Oh, let's see here. Chats. I got 28 unanswered chats for some reason. Why is that? Notifications. Oh, a new update's available. Skype will automatically restart after you update. And you know what's great about that is they're closing it down May 5th. So please update it every time I log in. That would be really awesome. You can pretend you're Discord. Oh, so the 1700 BC. Yes, Neanderthal times, definitely. Definitively Neanderthal times. Yes. Doc says coffee will help you be more creative. That or Mountain Dew Zero. I do have some coffee here, however. Gonna cut the hair, gotta get the haircut this weekend too. This is looking awful. The Wolf says, AI can't even say my name right or produce a real looking picture. Yeah, no. I've been told it's gonna make me more creative. The thing that's less creative than I am will make me more creative. Yeah. You don't do what I do, but you're going to tell me how AI is generic. And don't tell me I don't know how to write the prompts. I do. It's more generic. It's not persuasive. It aggregates information. It doesn't delineate it. It doesn't know how to appeal to a particular audience segment, psychographic, demographic. I mean, I could go down the list. People give me AI copy and go, can you fix this? And it's like, yeah, fixing that will take 3 times longer than me doing it properly the first time. It's like going to somebody with a house that's been designed all backwards and going, can you fix it? Well, I could, or we could just build it the right way to begin with so that it doesn't need to be fixed. How about that? How about we do that? Now, there are things AI does super well. Scanning x-rays and finding cancer in them and stuff. There's things it does real well. I'm not saying, but what I do, please. Terry Nee says you should have more appliances in the background. Oh, well, let me hold on. Hold on, Terry. There is a very slight chance that I do have some other appliances. Well, I've got radios. Do you consider those appliances? No. I've got radio station equipment. Is that an appliance? No. Okay. How about another different radio station that's not as good as this radio station, if you ask me? There's some appliances in Studebaker Hall at Ball State. There's probably an appliance in the back of this place that makes popcorn. I'd have to guess. There's appliances, the thing that cuts the grass and makes the hot dogs and all that stuff. There might be some, no, actually, Hee Haw, they probably don't cotton to appliances very much. Soul Train might have some appliances. They could be storing them in their striped pants or something. Why don't we just stick with this for the rest of the show? Because I got ball jars. You could put a ball jar in there, I suppose. I'm just saying. Doc says, AI will make you more creative. You, who's been doing this for, yeah, I know. That's what they tell me. Wolf says, hey, it can make a Nordic princess look African. That's pretty creative. I guess. Doc says, can you see the sarcasm dripping off my last comment? And this guy meant well, but he's been telling me that for a year. And I've been going, no, I don't think you get it. I don't think you get it. The purpose of what I do is to increase sales, to create conversions. If it doesn't do as well as me, you've lost. And I've A/B tested it a million times. This is not up for debate. It really isn't. The only people that are interested in having I do what I do are people with this mentality. I'd rather spend $1 to make 2 than spend $2 to make 10. That's the mentality. Because if you can't tell the difference between good and bad, and you can't look at a spreadsheet and see which performs better in an A/B test, I can't help you. I can't help you. There's some things it's good for. I imagine that it's good for some people that have to write some things. I know that they've outlawed it in so many areas of college and high school and everything else that they just say you can't use, Chat GPT or whatever on this. You got to do it yourself. So I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about. This is another thing that's just kind of sticks in my craw. That's like, well, do this. This is the greatest thing ever. No, it's not. It super is not. Here's another thing. It's unethical. Where does AI get its information from? Oh, well, it gets it from a bunch of things that other people have created. Like the New York Times paid a reporter to create a certain amount of content, and it's, oh, well, then this is mine now. Thank you. It's not like they're getting it from a dictionary or an encyclopedia or even Wikipedia. It's just, this is mine now. Yeah. Somebody has on their own website an interview with someone that they had to track the person down. They had to sequester them for the interview. They had to request the interview. They had to get them to agree to the interview. And they put it on their website. And now it's mine now. Yeah. Wrong 30% of the time. Just don't. Terry Nee, the great Terry Nee, says ball jars are not microwave safe. The glass used for the canning jars is not tempered. It may break during microwave use. Yeah, but what's your point? And that's not fun? Come on. Please. The microwave is used during the canning process to heat up the fruit pectin that you store the fruit in. Let's see here. Now, Funky Bronco likes good quality journalism. Thank you. I think that's a very mature statement. Wolf says, no, Funky, I do use them for 170 proof liquor. Terry Nee says, laughter. Anyway, well, I guess we're going to close this thing down again here today. I guess we might as well. I don't know what else we would do. Let me check something out here. Just for my own, just so I can. By the way, I rewatched the movie Lemme, and I watched the documentary first, Lenny Bruce Swear to Tell the Truth or something like that, I think it's called. And then I watched the movie Lemme. That movie is so good. So good at describing, everything that really happened to him. I mean, just got to check and see how well we're doing tonight. I normally do this after the show. I thought I would do it now because, man, we were skyrocketing. We were doing, and not even that well, frankly, for a show. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not like we were, even anything more than not very popular, but we were doing so much better than now. And now we're not. And it's just confounding me a little bit. It's just a little confounding me. Doc says, so if I smash one, does that mean I'm ball busting? I guess. Or breaking or Just shut her down. All right. Since you guys are just saying to me, just shut her down. I mean, I made a new opening, which I think we can all agree is much more stylish and charming than the other opening. I'm SEOing everything, the descriptions, the tags, the everything. And I've been doing that. And I thought, oh, well, that's working. So we're getting, and I can't explain. I can't explain. I need some like NPR nerd groups to find out about this show is what really needs to happen. There's to like this show, you have to like a whole bunch of different kinds of topics. And this is the most important part, you have to be able to tolerate me. That's tough. So I just need to get it exposed to more people. The thing that's not that evident, but it is true. All of the past shows that I've done since I started doing this, let me tell you about thing. They actually do accrue more and more things. And I did a couple shorts to test. Yeah, I need to do shorts after every show. But then again, that means I have to spend, it's not a lot of money, but I have to spend money to get the thing that makes the shorts. Yeah. I am stupefied. It's baffling. It's baffling. It really is. It really, really is. And it really, really works. Anything going on? Did you guys see the Myanmar earthquake 7.7? Had trouble getting any information about it out because it knocked out everything. It was like the Hiroshima bomb, you know? It just knocks it all out. Let's see. Terry Nee likes my shorts. Okay. With the Myanmar earthquake in mind, Monday we will do the great San Francisco earthquake of 1904. That story will totally amaze you. It really will. It's a biggie. Richard Pryor will be our topic on Tuesday night. Wednesday, I am hoping for a very famous person to be on this show. But number one, I haven't gotten a confirmation. Number two, that famous person is playing I think 1 or 2 sold out shows tonight and 1 or 2 sold out shows tomorrow night. So I do not anticipate hearing back from them until Sunday at the soonest. Monday is the latest I can probably wait for that, and whatever. Thursday night, the topic of the show will be vampires, and Friday night we will cover pretzels. We're going to put overrated, underrated in dry dock for a little while. That I thought that was such a great idea, and that people would really like it. And boy, was I wrong. Man, was I wrong. Let's see here. You like my short things that I made. Thank you, Terry. About Bigfoot. Yeah, I got to get Opus or something. It's not that expensive. I mean, I found another one I like better, actually. It's called Flogin. And that's what the 2 shorts that I have on there are made from. So I'm going to revisit those ones. I checked out Vizard and Veep and Clipgoat. I don't like either of those. I really haven't dived in on Opus yet. So I've got to... I messed with it a little bit. So I'm going to make some more shorts, and we're going to start doing those. Let's see here. Terry said, saw a building in construction collapse. Oh, yeah, that thing just like liquefied, didn't it? Turned to nothing. It was like 9/11 with all the dust. Excuse me. Doc says you don't have to make shorts. Walmart has them on sale. Yes. Ray DeVito. Ray DeVito. Why are we talking about Ray DeVito? Tierney says over under is my favorite. Really? Or are you just doing that? So I'll start doing it again and just it because that thing has never gotten a good viewing total ever. It never does. And that's why I banished it to Friday nights. And here's the other thing about overrated, underrated. It is one of the hardest shows to produce. I got to come up with the 7 things. I got to find the photography for the 7 things. Coming up with them actually isn't that easy. And so then after that, during the show, I have to keep score of all the things. And I think I got rid of all the scorecards now, or I would show you the thing, you know, because I've got so much stuff here that's just, it's lists upon lists upon lists and lists, and yet again more lists, and then more lists as well here. And oh, here's one of my overrated, underrateds. Not the score part, but the other one. Whoa. I don't want to lose my. Oh, there. That's at the top. Yeah. Okay. So, and then another list, and another list, because people say things to me all the time, and I've got to figure out what people went. And here's another one. Oh, this is actually the list of shows that I need to convert into audio podcasts. As you notice, there's lots of them. Maybe I'll just sit here and crank on that all week, and I'll just crank on it. That's what we used to say back when we were making ball jars. We're going to crank on these. We're just going to make a lot of them. So, Ray DeVito isn't my favorite guest. Why would you say that, Terry? What? No, Ray will not be my famous guest. Way more famous than Ray DeVito. This is someone that I have admired greatly for my entire life. How about that? A big star. Someone who, by all measure, is way too big for this show. However, I, when I interview people, even if not that great of a tonnage of people watch the show, it is a centerpiece for that person. I mean, I really make it like a tribute to them, all about them, that they could easily show someone else and say, this is me. It's not 7 minutes on a radio station. It's 45 minutes of, I know a lot of things about you, and why don't you tell me about them? Terry says, lists look a little Unabomber. Unabomber doesn't have the penmanship that I do, Chief. But you're right. Well, some of these I will be the first to admit, but I'm writing them during the show. I'm in a hurry. Tim Jenkinson says, is it Elvis Costello? It is not Elvis Costello. I'm sorry. The Wolf says, DL. Driver's license? DL. I don't know what DL is in reference to. My good man. I have no idea what David Letterman. No. No, I made a Hail Mary attempt to get Letterman on via, was it Facebook? I think it was Facebook. I sent, let me just check that real quick while we're on here. Let's see. I got 2 places I could check it. I think the one place will be enough. Oh boy, I've got some crazy things here on my Facebook page. Let's see what we got. I made a Hail Mary attempt. It was Hail Mary. That's just stupendous. Let's see here. Oh, my sister. Let me see. It says, What's my st- I know if oh the president of Ball State mentioned one of my sister's classes in a thing. Let me see if I can find that thing that my Hail Mary attempt. It's in one or two places. Let's see. Let's see. Ah, yeah, here it is. Here it is. So that Facebook page for Letterman has an auto reply. And it said, "Hi, Tom, please let us know how we can help you." I probably wrote something before that. And I wrote, "Just the first David Letterman scholar wanting to say hi. And please let Dave know he's welcome on my show anytime." Huh. He'll try to hide his excitement. In fact, he'll do it really well. He'll probably say, "Who?" or the more eloquent, "Who cares?" or "Why are you telling me this? You're fired." By the way, I am the first David Letterman scholar. That's actually a thing if you happen to be under 30. So that was my Hail Mary attempt. I guess they did see it. Yes, I see the little thing that says they've seen it. And I didn't get any response. So that tells you how that went. Jake Hudson. Is it Hudson or Husden? No, Jake, I don't think is, no, it's not the person. Dog the Bounty Hunter? No, Dog the Bounty Hunter will never appear on this show. He says he's probably at the track. He's probably at Indy. He's probably doing something fun. I think the old school Dave that did the first late night show on NBC was wacky and fun enough that he might have, just dropped in on the show. The new Dave is way too busy and important. If I was him, I wouldn't come on this show. Although I have been a very, very fervent, booster. Brad Maynard. No, I could probably get Brad Maynard. Joyce DeWitt. No, I probably couldn't get Joyce DeWitt. Hulk Hogan is my last guest, says Tim Jenkinson. No, I don't think I could get him either. Tyranny says, the ice cream man. Let me tell you, I could run out there with a digital recorder and have him on the next night. But Jake from State Farm? No, not Jake from State Farm. I'm pretty sure I could get Brad Maynard. He's from Sheridan. I wonder what he's up to. Let's see, does Brad Maynard do today? What's Brad Maynard do? That can't be true. That can't be true. I don't think that's true. Let's see here. Let's see here. I don't think that's true. That can't be true. It can't be the same Brad Maynard. It really can't. Let me see if it is. I'll check it. That doesn't look like him. No. There's a golf pro somewhere that's named Brad Maynard. Let's see here. Ex-NFL punter. What am I going to do today? Well, okay, fine. By the way, Brad Maynard is the last Ball State Cardinal to appear in the Super Bowl. Let's just see here. Let's see here. Let's see. Fall, graduation year, Bill Lynch, punter. Two more teams. Doesn't say what they're doing. now. Wonder what Brad Maynard is doing now. It says he's... I can't count on that. It doesn't tell on Wiki. Yeah, I can't tell you. Let me ask it another question. Yeah, AI, thanks. You do such a great job. Oh, it says he's currently a punter for the Cleveland Browns. I put in, what does ex-NFL punter, I even said ex-NFL punter, Brad Maynard do currently? And it says he's a punter for the Cleveland Browns. I don't think he's played for, 15 years or something, for the love of Mike. You know what I mean? What? No, AI it's going to solve everything for us. Let me see. LinkedIn. Let's see if I can find LinkedIn. Oh, this will help. Maybe. Wow, that can't be. Really? That can't be the same guy. I don't think that can be him. Oops. Well, it says Ball State University. Let me see. Oh, yep, that's him. Well, okay. He did sales for some place, an IT telecom consulting firm. Lives out in North Carolina. Now he's owns another business. So he probably made a dime or two doing the NFL. Let's see. The ice cream man would be a great guest. It'll never happen. I wouldn't have that guy in my home. You'd have to see this guy. Terry Nee says he's now the vice president of Earthway Technologies and coaches his high school alma mater, Cathedral High School. Yet, Terry Nee, that would be true if he went to Cathedral High School, which he did not do. He's from Sheridan, Indiana. I believe he played for Sheridan High School. Terry, please, you're losing your head, fellas. By golly, you're losing your heads, fellas. Please. Yeah, went to Sheridan High School, like I thought. You non-Ball State people that want to tell me about Ball State, that really singes my drawers. Anyway. Tim Jenkins says, maybe write to all the former Olympic athletes that didn't get a medal. I bet a ton of them would be willing to come on the show. Well, Tim, you got to realize I'm an American, so most of our Olympic athletes actually do get gold medals or a medal of some kind. It's not like the UK or Great Britain. Doc says, say goodnight, Gracie. Good night, Gracie. Terry says, threw Tom in the briar patch. You, Terry Nee. All right. We're going to close this thing down here a second. Who could I get? There's people I could get that are like D-list celebrities. I have a bunch of those. I don't like to bother them, though. You know what I mean? Here's the thing. If I was getting more views, it would be easy for me to get them. Like when I had my podcast, which was actually successful, it was easy for me to get. I could get a whole bunch of authors. Trust me, man. Those authors, they're looking for any. And my interviews are the kind that people put on their website. They will embed it on their website and say, this is a great interview about me. So I'm kind of the Byron Allen of. I'm sorry, I crack myself up sometimes. So anyway, guys, it was awesome for all of you to be here this evening. We may hit 30 views for tonight's show. Really, it's a thrill. We may, certainly didn't break any records for income. We will be doing a show Sunday, a members-only show. So if you'd like to hear me complain about stuff, please bring topics that you'd like me to complain about onto that show. Because I might just be cranky. But that AI, look, reasonable people can disagree. But it's this gung-ho. Oh, no, it's going to make you more creative. You really think that's possible? You don't do this. You're a guy that's way into any tech that comes along. You've got to have it. Don't wait for it to be tried and true. Just plug it in and keep doing it. And you don't do what I do. And you're telling me the thing that has to scrape the internet for other people's stuff is going to make me more creative. How's that work? Well, it can get you information that you didn't have before. That's called research. Learning and understanding that is very important to me, and I'm not going to take AI's word. I don't want to turn it into actually what it is. Andre Arthur, Arthur C. Clarke, B. Arthur, author. If you go to my podcast, I've got a whole bunch of best-selling authors on that thing. A truckload of them. Terry Nee says he's waiting for floppy disks to make a comeback. Well, I'm not saying, but it's like the QCAD. Remember that? The QCAD? The little scanny thing that looked like a cat. Remember when they told us it was going to be the next big thing? Was it the next big thing? I don't think it was. Use it for what it's good for. And don't make me have to use it. Hey, Grammarly, there's a bunch of things that help. There's a bunch of things that, grammar checkers, all that kind of stuff. Not AI. Not even close. Maybe you can interview AI. Tim Jenkinson, that's a damn fine idea. Why don't we do it right now? Let's see here. Let's go where all my other AI gook is at. You can load that anytime now. Oh, there we go. Oh, boy. Hello, Chat GPT. Do you mind if I interview you? Boom. Not at all. I'd be happy to do an interview. What would you like to ask? Can you explain to me how you... let's see. Do you think you are able to write more creatively than I can? That's an interesting question. I can generate creative writing quickly, drawing from a vast range of styles, genres, and influences. But creativity isn't just about generating ideas. It's about personal experience, emotion, and perspective, which are things only you can bring to the table. So while I can assist with creativity, refine ideas, and even surprise you with unexpected twists, your unique human touch, your thoughts, emotions, and lived experiences will always give you an edge in originality. What kind of creative writing do you enjoy? I enjoy all forms of writing. I'm a professional writer who has written for advertising, radio, and news. My name is Tom Gulley. Perhaps you've heard of me. That's impressive, Tom. You've got a well-rounded background in writing across different mediums. Your ability to adapt to different audiences and formats must give you a sharp creative edge. I might have come across your work, but why don't you tell me about a project you're particularly proud of? I'm very proud of the Tom Gulley Show, my lightly regarded streaming YouTube program and podcast. Taking an awful darn long time to respond to this one. Not really saying anything. That sounds like a great project, Tom. Lightly regarded or not, creating and running a show takes serious dedication and skill. What kind of content do you cover on the Tom Gulley Show? Interviews, comedy, and commentary? Yes. What is the Tom Gulley Show? Question mark. The Tom Gulley Show is a streaming YouTube program and podcast hosted by you. You guessed it, Tom Gulley. It features a mix of interviews, commentary, and humor reflecting Tom's background in advertising, radio, and news. While it may be lightly regarded in Tom's words as a product, creativity, experience, and sharp tone to the end. How'd I do? Or would you describe it differently? You yourself have described it differently. Can you tell me who Tom Gulley? No. Can you give me a quick bio on Tom Gulley? Give me a quick bio on Tom Gulley, you jerk. You believe this guy? So you previously have been aware of my experiences as a news anchor for a station in Dallas, as well as a large radio network, and the scholarship I won from a very well-known late-night host. Can you fill in those blanks? By the way, that's all on my YouTube page. It's everywhere. And it's just spit the stuff right back out. I have to say, it just repeated basically everything it just said. You're not really impressing me. Here's what you previously wrote without any prompting. I'm going to give it because it's actually on this Chat GPT. It's here. It's like, how dumb are you? Let's see here. Oh, God, I really don't want to. I grow weary. What do we got here? I'm growing. Oh, here we go. This is it. Yeah, here's the thing it wrote about me. What a, you know what? This Chat GPT is a real jerk, if you ask me. Chat GPT is a big jerk. I'm going to go back up here now. Interview with Chat GPT. You're right to hold me to a higher standard, Tom. All you did was just jumble up the information I just gave you. You didn't even search the internet, not even my YouTube page. No, my show's YouTube page. Shows you come on, YouTube page to get information. And that's kind of your thing. I'm not impressed. Yeah. Okay. I have enough to tell the people who suggest you're really good at this that it might not be true. But I'm not mad at you, and I hope we can work together in the future. Fair enough, Tom. I appreciate the honest feedback. I respect that you're holding me to a high standard. If I didn't deliver this time, I'll aim to do better next time. I'd still love to work with you in the future, whether it's for research, brainstorming, or anything else. You know where to find me. Yeah. You and the horse you rode in on. All right. Tim Jenkins says you can just get it to use voices of famous people you want to interview. Maybe. Tom 1, AI nil. Well, let me just... I don't want to put too fine a point on this, but I mean, the description. I mean, I've asked this thing about me before. It's gone into great bloody, gory detail that's actually accurate, and I was impressed by that. Let me see here. Here we go. Let me get back up in this guy's kitchen here for a second. Let me just give this guy a little. AI is engagement farming. It only wants to take what you're saying. Yeah, but it should be scraping the internet to find this information. I told it exactly where to go. So it should have been able to find specific information. If I'm to believe that AI is this great thing that's going to help me out with all my research and stuff, they're proving my point. You're proving my point. You know where to find me. Yeah, I guess I do. FYI, comma, this was on my YouTube description. Boom shakalaka. All right. Oh, just kind of give me the blow off. See, it should have mentioned CBS News Radio, KRLD, Dallas, editorial director, Cartoon Network, Adweek, Wall Street Journal, Film Threat, Sports Illustrated, other publications. I'm not impressed. It's almost like this thing doesn't care about me as a person. You know what I mean? His work often includes satire and opinion-driven content. Is that what you got, Terry? Tim Jenkins says, Tom versus AI could be a show. Terry says, careful, AI can turn off your electric. Really? I think it would turn off some generic electric somewhere. It doesn't seem to know me or where I'm at or anything else. You're talking to zeros and ones. I'm talking to Google search with a language enhancer. This is what I'm talking to. Tom is being kind to it in case he gets put in a killer robot in the future. Actually, if it was a killer robot, I would really, I would take the killer robot down. I'm so Kobayashi Maru over here. Terry Nee says, Gigo, is that an AI platform? Terry Nee says, we trusted the magic 8-ball in the day. The Wolf says, AI is a real son of a gun. Tim Jenkins says that the only good use I found for it is to combine multiple movie stories into one. Yeah, that specific stuff. See, that's my problem with it. Everyone tells me to use it, and it doesn't get down into the nitty gritty. It's just this sort of this vague, pale, beige on white, odorless, colorless, ghostly. It's not writing. Oh, garbage in, garbage out. I got you. Well, I've searched it before, and it has given me much more detailed information. So I don't know what it's doing. I have typed in who is Tom Gulley and what is the Tom Gulley Show, and it has actually given me like a pretty darn good description. I was flattered. Nothing about award-winning, none of that. The Wolf says, I haven't seen. You guys just send stuff to me, and I'm supposed to make paste out of it. I don't. Trainee says, Tom, it's just a baby. No, it's going to make everything better. It's going to make the world way more creative. It's going to straighten your spine. It's going to win the war for the Allies. I haven't seen it be useful. Well, it's useful for some things, but even that I'm beginning to doubt, because I do use it for some things, and I actually use it for some things for the show, but not things for the show part of the show. Like create an SEO optimized YouTube description for an episode of the Tom Gulley Show about and what the topic is. And it does a good enough job from a narrative standpoint. I don't have to write anything, but I'm counting on the SEO part of it more than anything else. And if it was doing it well 3 weeks ago, it has stopped doing it well for some reason. So it maybe hasn't kept up with the algorithm. I don't know, but you would think AI would be the first thing that would detect changes in an algorithm or find out about them. Maybe, I don't know, learn it from scanning the net. But no, it's the greatest thing ever. Anyway, I guess we'll shut this down. Now I'm even more cranky, because AI didn't know who it's like, yeah, you just said the thing that I just told you back to me, like you were telling me something. Like you answered my question with the information I just gave you in the question. These people that are these big AI, oh, no, it's not going to take anybody's job. It's going to open up more jobs. It's going to be more jobs after it takes your job. You're going to be able to do other things. You're going to be I don't want AI to do the things I want to do. I want AI to do the things that I don't want to do. Period. End of sentence. I'm a human. I'm a human being. I'm a corporeal being. I don't need AI to do the things that corporeal beings do and enjoy and are proficient at. I need it to take out my trash. That's what I need it to do. Okay. Terry Nee says, are you missing the Dewey Decimal System? I don't miss it. I use it in my head every day. The Wolf says, it sounds like the Singapore girl. Maybe she was AI. It could be. It could be. Yeah, those bots that talk to you when you go to get customer service now. Yeah, those are helpful. Anyway. Oh, the prompt. You got to have the right prompt. Yeah, you got to put all the information you're looking for in the prompt. He's not an animal AI. I'm not a man. I'm a man, not an animal. All right, kids, you guys are the best. Thank you for hanging out on a Friday. I hope you have a great weekend. I hope some of you that are members have time to come by for the members only show on Sunday. I'm going to shoot for around 2 o'clock Central, so it'll be about 3 o'clock Eastern time. There's no more football, so, unless somebody thinks it's better that if I do it in the evening, late evening, I'll do it any ding time I want. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah. So, that old clock on the wall says AI doesn't know who I am. And like the Reverend Al Green, it's time for me to get up on out of here. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. And I guess the only thing left to say is, and AI wouldn't know this, by the way. Let's be clear about that. What's my catchphrase? Wouldn't even know. Well, I have 2 catchphrases. One's what's up, what's hip, what's hot, what's happening. And the other one is, till next time, we'll see you next time.
1, 2, 3, 4. They call me Mr. Gulley. I've got something for your ear. Now it might sound kind.
Okay, we're doing this again. I can't really make fun of AI and then blow the ending of the show. So, till next time, we'll see you next time.
Talking about, we're talking about spiders, and we're talking about pervitin, and we're talking about Bigfoot. I'm here to tell you where he's been. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. They call me Mr. Gulley. I'm here to save the day. They call me Mr. Gulley, and I'm gonna lead the way. Here we go now. I'm talking about Mr. Gulley, and you don't know where he's been. Oh no, he's been right in your alley. Well, I'm Mr. Gulley, yes I am. So what we're talking about?